Rick Barry shot 90% from the free throw line, okay? One year, in 1978, in the season, he only missed 10 foul shots the whole season.
Crazy.
The league average is like 77%. I think LeBron is below 80 career. Michael Jordan maybe was 82. This guy was 90. And he shot every single one of those free throws underhand. He didn't care what anyone said. He didn't care if they laughed at him. He just kept fucking ringing up the points. Underhand, boom, boom, good. Like, he didn't even hit the rim. Since he played in the league, there's been about 2,700 people drafted. How many of those people have tried to shoot the ball underhand? None. Zero. Because people don't want to do shit that looks funny or weird, and it's broken. The way you live is you rip it up, and you don't give a shit. Probably our biggest enemy is our own voice in our head.
Yeah.
And I call that Billy, the bully that lives in all of us. And because it's graphic, it's easy to remember. But, and that's just our own self-doubt. You know, that we can't, putting limits on ourselves and what we think we can do.
Right.
And once we get past that limiting self-talk, that's where really all the greatness is. And I'll give you the most obvious example in my life. You know, when I started running, I could run 2 miles. My goal was to run 2 miles. And that's what I wrote down on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
And I worked towards that goal. And if I could do that in 18 minutes, I'm a runner. And fast forward a couple of years later, I ended up running 100 miles nonstop. And nothing changed in my body. It's not like I got stronger. My legs didn't change.
Yeah.
My lungs are the same ones God gave me. But the belief that I could do it, the actual belief that I literally could run 100 miles nonstop is what got me there, along with training. But if I was stuck in the world of, okay, 2 miles was enough, I would have never realized that I was capable of 50 times what I thought I was. So now I ask myself all the time, what other areas of my life am I under-indexing in? If I was 50x greater than I thought I was initially,
Yeah.
could my net worth be 50x? Could my relationship with my wife be 50x? Could my health be 50x better? Like, where am I? You know, like, and the only way you know that is stepping into the unknown. You know what I mean? And to me, all the growth in my life, any success, anything has come from stepping into the unknown. Not necessarily pain, not going, it's going into areas that could be like, okay, record deal. I'm going into the office. I have no idea what's going to happen. They think I'm Dana Dane. I'm going into, you know, I could just, every example in my life has been like that. I have, and anyone can do this. I have in a list of electives. So when you go to college, you have mandatory courses. Most of it you hate, calculus, whatever. I don't want to take that. Whatever that. I want to learn how to make money. But then you have electives, the things you want to do. So I make a list, and I love that. So I made a list of all the things I want to do in the year. I want to run a marathon, I'm doing a documentary, I'm writing a book, family trips, all the stuff that I want to do, okay? They go into an elective chart. Then I have a list, come back to it, of what I call my sunshine. Electives, sunshines. My sunshines are my daily habits. That is, and I try to introduce one new habit a month. That could be, last month it was drink 100 ounces of water. This month is introducing a meditation practice. Because at the end of the year, if you have 12 new winning habits, that's a hell of a year. That's a hell of a year. Most of us think back to like last 2 years, like what have you added that's new? And when I tell people that, they're like, well, I'm gonna do 3 things. I'm gonna read the newspaper every day, I'm gonna meditate, I'm gonna drink water. I'm like, start with one. And then introduce the next one. So my daily habits, I have a list of them. And that could be like, I want to play with my kids for an hour, I want to read to my kids, I want to drink more water. And every night before I go to bed, I look at my list of sunshine and say, how do I want to put sunshine in my life the next day? I know it sounds corny, but that's what I do. And I'm like, okay, hour with my kids, and I make sure everything is scheduled the night before. It's like, we can't afford to wing it anymore. So every CEO, top CEOs have 3 assistants, and they wake up and they come in the morning and their assistant hands them a schedule, says 9 to 9:15 here, 9:15 to 9:30 here. We don't have 3 assistants. Most of us don't have 3 assistants, but we can't wing it. The night before, you have to have the day laid out. So I sprinkle in my sunshines into the day. And then underneath that, electives, sunshine. My electives go on a year calendar. So I schedule them. The marathons, my year's, it's already scheduled. It's done. I know the races I'm running, the trips I'm taking, it's all in there. All the stuff I want to do is written in, because I'm not gonna waste away the thing. I'm not gonna go through a year and not do the shit that I want to do. Then my life plan, my system would be out of whack. The one thing that always gets me back to like ground zero is I get one shot at this life. I get one shot at it. I want to love, I want to like give, I want to be loved, I want to do good things, you know, and I have, of course, everybody goes off the wagon and this and that, but I'm very aware of like, this is it. I remember I was saying to my wife, this race that I want to run called Badwater, and she was saying to me like, it's a 135-mile run in Death Valley. It's like the hardest foot race. And she's like, why do you want to do that? It's going to mess up your hips. And then when you're 70, 75, you can't do anything. And I'm like, I'm not playing for 75. I'm playing for right now.
Yes.
Our existence, humans, it's like a novel. We have a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Yes.
We reflect on the beginning, right? So like, tell stories about our childhood. Like, oh yeah, you remember that? Marquis Jet, we're reflecting.
Yep.
The middle is like where we live now. That's where all of our worry is. That's where we spend all of our time. We think we're never gonna get out of this rut. We're stuck here, and that's where we are. And then the end, we often ignore. And let me just put it in perspective. I'm sure most people listening have not picked out their graveyard plot yet. So then you're not really taking it seriously.